Matt Lenihan Boxing Social, association with Empire Fight Store. Eddie Hearn, what a night. Terry Harper becomes a 3-weight world champion. Many people had wrote her off after the Sandy Ryan defeat, but she's back and a good win.
Yeah, really pleased for her. I mean, I've got a lot of time for Terry and Rhiannon. I think they're, great role models and also great champions as well. And I think a lot of people were a little bit harsh. I actually said it as well, like it's the last roll of the dice for Terry Harper. She's 27. But, it would have been back-to-back defeats for world championships and you're not sure what she would have wanted to do after that. So, I think she used her experience really well tonight. I felt like Rhiannon might have been a slight favourite going into the fight because of form. But Terry boxed really well long and also, tied her up on the inside and worked her on the inside. And both girls were badly hurt in the fight, but I thought it was a brilliant fight.
Yeah, and a good night. Peter McGrail it was a stunning knockout. I've seen it online, but obviously it doesn't do it justice to that sound of that body shot in person. Good fight coming up potentially with Dennis McCann as well.
That's the fight I want to make, and it's a pure 50-50 fight. And I know that, I get stick when we don't win these fights, but isn't that what you want to see? Like, I want to see 50-50 fights. I want to see Peter McGrail against Dennis McCann. It's been ordered by the British Boxing Board of Control. It's been ordered by the EBU. We're already talking to George Warren and Frank about that fight on the next 5v5. Brilliant fight. One of the best fights that we've made in Britain.
Just pivoting away from this fight week, obviously I've not spoken to you in over a week, so I've got to touch on a few things. You reacted to an article from Simon Jordan.
Yeah.
He then has done another video and the title read, Simon Jordan warns imbecile Eddie Hearn, and he's commented saying Eddie Hearn's made these comments without actually reading the article. What do you make of that? And did you read the article before making the comments?
I read the title of the article and I read the first few paragraphs whilst I was at the press conference. I didn't need to, because it was the title of the article. I found it quite offensive. Saudis need to respect our history and our culture. What the fuck is he talking about? So these people, by the way, if you promote an event, you can do whatever you want, right? It's called a product and it's up to the customer whether they buy a ticket or not. It's not up to Simon Jordan to tell the people putting on an event what they can and can't do. If I wanted to, I could play the national anthem for me when I'm in America, right, and just stand there and go, this is for me, yeah? Because I've worked my nuts off and I've put a lot of effort into this show and I'm just going to do it, right? But in that instance, you've got an organisation, particularly run and led by Turki Alalshikh, who has come over and had a concept to bring Riyadh season to London because British fight fans have said, please bring one over here. He spent an absolute fortune. He spent 3 or 4 months working tirelessly on this event to give us an unbelievable night. He's put one of the best cards on we've ever seen, and they're very proud of what they've done. So if they want to play a 20-second anthem, what the fuck is the problem? Simon Jordan is the most miserable geezer I've ever met in my life. Like, can you imagine being around this guy? It would do your night. He don't stop moaning. And I know it's his thing because that's how, disc jockeys have to do that. But at the end of the day, what is the big deal? Like, boxing is in a better place. Before Riyadh season come along, before the Saudi, all he did was moan that we didn't get these fights. Well, Fury Usyk, when we're going to see that? When we're going to see? All of a sudden, they've all started happening. Now he wants to moan about a national anthem. Honestly, he's not even worth talking about. And, he calls me an imbecile. The geezer is a grade A plonker. Plonker. Plonker is the best word for Simon Jordan. You've only got to look at the geezer and go, plonker, even before he opens his mouth. And then when he opens his mouth, it becomes a grade A plonker, right? So, he does not stop moaning. And it's just absolutely mental. And he puts his broadcaster in the shit. The relationship was going so well, he can't help himself.
Anthony Joshua, just moving away from that. I've read the comments saying His Excellency prefers the Daniel Dubois rematch, but after at the press conference you were saying, look, we need to see what happens in December. So would your primary focus now be if a deal can be made before seeing Fury Usyk for the rematch to get that done, or do you still insist, no, we need to see what happens there because that could potentially move a Fury-Joshua fight along a bit?
We've got a very simple decision to make. If Josh is physically ready for the date that His Excellency is proposing, and I'll let him talk further on that when the time comes, we will rematch Daniel Dubois. If he's not ready, then we will wait for Tyson Fury against Alexander Usyk. The attraction for AJ is that he has a straight shot at the world heavyweight title again, right? Tough fight, You know, a lot of confidence from Dubois. We know AJ can do much better. We believe he can beat Daniel Dubois. Very dangerous fight. But it's a shot at the world heavyweight title. And I've never known AJ to turn that opportunity down. And he won't. But it'll be up to us to speak to the doctors, look at the scans on his hands and see if he's ready for that date. Because if not, you're really waiting for Tyson Fury. And if Tyson Fury loses against Usyk, it's still a big fight, but it's not for the world heavyweight title.
I've got to ask you about the Devin Haney situation. This thing just keeps going on and on and on. You mentioned in another interview, obviously, with Stomping about opening doors. Do you see this as a deterrent then for potential failures in moving forward?
I think win, lose or draw in court, I think this is actually a good thing to deter fighters from using performance-enhancing drugs, because the penalty is not strict enough. Like Ryan Garcia is a good example where he got a year's ban. Like time you have 6 months off and a little break, you're going back into camp, right? So, but the deterrent of losing tens of millions of dollars is much worse. So now that there's a potential legal action against someone that takes performance-enhancing drugs, I actually think it's a pivotal moment for the sport in that respect. And I've spoken to a lot of lawyers about it. It's certainly not clear-cut either way, but they believe the case has a lot of merit, and it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out.
Eddie Hearn, appreciate your time.
Cheers, mate.
Thank you.